Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together, one frame at a time. Hey guys, I'm Rand Younger, and this is another episode of Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together, one frame at a time. And with me tonight, I have a wonderful panel of guest critics. As always, we have Mr. Eric Godfrey. Welcome back, Eric.
Glad to be here.
And first time to the show, Mr. Tyler Michael. Hey, Tyler.
Hello, good to be here.
Yeah, I met you on a film shoot a little over a year ago, and that was a weird experience, but a really cool one because I got to meet really awesome people such as yourself. So I'm so happy that we can finally have you on the show. So welcome, sir.
Thank you, and it's an honor to be here with you. It's been so long. I'm so happy to hear and see you again after so long.
You're so sweet. You're a good man. Good man. Thank
So
you.
are you.
Thank you. Thank you. So tonight we're gonna dive deep into a film that is celebrating its 25th anniversary. It is Steven Spielberg's epic war saga, Saving Private Ryan. And before we get into that, I just wanted to quickly mention a really cool event that actually Tyler and I both attended, though on separate days, unfortunately. However, we did attend Trauma Dance, and it is a 3-day film festival, all things trauma. If you guys are not familiar with Trauma, they've been around for 50 years now, and they specialize in horror and science fiction and just totally ridiculous, bloody, sexy movies. And I was only there for one day, but I got my fill of trauma films, and it was a great weekend. It was from Friday to Sunday, and like I said, there were screenings. There was actually a drag show. There was trivia. I won a shot of whiskey answering correctly one trivia question, and that was, which U.S. state does the Toxic Avenger take place in? Gentlemen,
Jersey, isn't it?
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
I don't have whiskey on me, but you earned that shot, sir. But that was last night, and also Lloyd Kaufman was there on Saturday. And Tyler, I believe you were there to witness that awesomeness.
Yes, I was. And I've never met him. I've heard great things about him. I was a little nervous to approach him because I'm new at Trauma, so I didn't know what to say, but I love his personality in the films I did see him in and how he is in interviews.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for my friend Margaret, who brought me up to him, I never would have had this wonderful experience because I felt really at home when talking to him. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's just so down to earth and really cool, kind of like a nice uncle. And
If I may, I actually would call him the horror movie version of Mel Brooks.
well, I like that. And they might be from the same neighborhood too. I wouldn't be surprised.
Either.
Eric, are you familiar? Well, you know about Toxic Avenger. Are you?
I grew up on a couple of trauma films. I wasn't really as in depth in them, but I was always aware of them. They'd always be at the local video store, and I'd check them out. Of course, never couldn't really watch them when people are around because of the explicit content that would be that would be involved in them. But I will always treasure Lloyd, the fact that technically everybody should be aware of Lloyd Kaufman, because I mean the fact that he had a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy, that gun brought him in, and it's like, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I remember watching Guardians 1, I'm like, that's Lloyd Kaufman in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, that was a little.
Well, I mean, James Gunn did start out in Trauma.
Yeah, exactly. His gun, it says gun paying back to where he got to start at. But I love that they let him have that cameo.
Which Guardians was that? Was that
one? That was the first one, because when they're in the prison, he's up on the on one of the prisoners.
I'll tell you that the first time, and one of the few instances I've had with trauma, was the Toxic Crusaders TV show, the cartoon back in the early 90s.
Yep, I remember that.
And I can't believe that was a thing.
Yeah, it was a thing. It was basically like kind of like a Ninja Turtles version of the Toxic Avenger. turning Toxie into the leader of this like eco-friendly band of superheroes. It was bizarre, man. But it
But I
had
mean, you're
yeah,
looking at the 80s and 90s when RoboCop had a cartoon, like
that's true.
Rambo had a cartoon.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
there was a lot of weird taking these R-rated violent movies, and here's the kid version
Right, right.
for your
Swamp
action
Thing.
figure needs.
Yeah,
And
like
they were
Terminator Q action figures too.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
exactly,
And
exactly.
they were really good action figures too. Like
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
Toxic Crusaders was done by Playmates, who also did
Mhm.
the Turtles line. And they had ooze, they had really cool accessories and great vehicles too.
If I remember right, they basically marketed it as, "Hey, you like Ninja Turtles? Try Toxic Avenger."
Right, basically.
Hmm.
And then the parents would show them the Toxic Avenger and they would be traumatized
Yeah.
for life. So but yeah, Trauma Dance is fantastic. I only regret that I only went to one day of it. I really wish I experienced the whole thing, and it would have been cool to meet Lloyd again, because I met him at New York Comic Con a couple of years ago. And again, real class act, cool guy. And yeah, Eric, maybe I'll see you there next year.
Maybe, who knows?
Tyler, I know
It
I'll
would
see
it would be
you
fun to go.
there. All right, guys. So let's get into Saving Private Ryan. And I mean, this movie is a lot to unpack, and it is insanely violent, but at the same time tasteful and respectful of American history and veterans. And I cannot think of a better duo than Spielberg and Tom Hanks to basically bring this story to the screen. And for those who have been living under a rock, but the story is a group of soldiers led by Hanks are basically ordered to bring back Matt Damon's character, Private Ryan, who is the sole surviving sibling of three brothers. His three other brothers have been killed in action, and basically to spare the mother even more grief, this band of brothers must go into harm's way to bring him back and bring him home safely to his mom.
Mhm.
And along the way, there are some amazing battle sequences. The effects are so realistic. The production value here is beyond the charts. It's insane at how realistic this must have been for the veterans to see. And I think this is arguably the greatest war film of all time. It is definitely the most realistic, I'm assuming. And it's a Spielberg film, so obviously the budget's high and the attention to detail is just so perfect. This is just a fantastic film, and I can't praise it enough. It's celebrating its 25th anniversary, and if you are interested in American history, in war history, this is definitely the film to see. Tyler, I know you're new to the show, but I want to hear your thoughts, sir, of Saving Private Ryan.
Well, I do want to mention something in the history before I begin, something I just found very interesting because I did some research on the film because I love studying more about a film than just watching it. And it turns out that Spielberg, unsurprisingly, but still was heavily interested in World War II since he was a kid. Naturally, because part of that is because his father served in the war, and
Right.
we bring back souvenirs like leather jackets, goggles, as well as his, of course, medals. And Spielberg started making, war movies when he was a kid at 14 years old,
Okay.
which helped him grow his love and interest in making a war film. And he was obsessed with World War II documentaries. And what pretty much motivated him to make this movie was he got the idea when he read about a young private who was dropped in with First Airborne in Normandy before the invasion. His
Hmm.
brothers died the same week, and there was a rescue sent to find him. So there wasn't a real Saving Private Ryan, but it was based on a semi-true story, or
Yeah,
at least,
the Nealon brothers, I
Right,
believe.
right.
yeah, exactly. So that really fascinated me, how the film was made. And I have not seen this film since I was in middle school, which is over 10 years.
Right.
And I remember liking the beginning, and after that, I just thought it was okay. But
Yeah.
I was in an environment where people were talking around me, And also I was a middle schooler and my attention span couldn't really, last that long, even though I was highly into films and I really wanted to love it. So this podcast finally gave me the chance to revisit it after it's long overdue. And oh my gosh, it is better than I remember it.
Yeah. It's really like a fine wine. It just gets better with age. And I think I saw this when it was on DVD. I don't think I saw it in theaters back when it came out in '98. You did, Eric?
I
Okay.
did. My family, because my dad was a very big World War II person, and I was old enough, and we had been hearing so much about it, so we actually did go see Saving Private Ryan in theaters when it came out, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
In theaters, I mean, that's a movie you didn't hear a peep from anybody almost the entire movie.
I'll bet. Yeah, I mean, I just, got a new sound system. So this was one of the first movies that I played to break it in, and it did not disappoint. This movie needs to be experienced, not just seen, but experienced, eyes and ears. This is really the technical wizardry that went into this is just unparalleled. I can't think of a better sounding film out there. But yeah, I just want to touch on the acting a bit. So you've got Tom Hanks in his prime, 1998. He was a megastar at this point. Same year he did You've Got Mail. This is a slightly different tone than that, but you've also got so obviously Hanks. You've got Matt Damon. You've got Edward Burns, Tom Sizemore, Barry Pepper, Giovanni Ribisi, Vin Diesel in an early role, Adam Goldberg, and Jeremy Davies. You also have a very painfully short part by Bryan Cranston, who plays a War Department soldier. And also Ted Danson's in it, Dennis Farina, Paul
Giamatti.
Yeah, it's like you've got. I love the supporting cast in this movie because it's so like random. Like it's
Well, it reminds me. It was the thing of when I always. It's one of the things you hear a lot. They don't make them like they used to, kind of. And one of the things about this one that kind of reminded me of that is when you would get a big blockbuster like this, even like a war. It would be like I didn't know that they were going to show up in this. Like it would because it wasn't like you wouldn't have like somebody announce like, oh, Ted Danson's been cast for a small cameo, and then like so it would just be like you'd be watching the movie and there's Ted Danson, there's even though he wasn't known at the time, there's Nathan Fillion, there's Paul Giamatti.
I know. I like for some reason Ted Danson stood out the most to me.
I think because he was probably the most well-known cameo
right
at that time.
Yeah, and he only had maybe like 4 minutes of screen time or something like that. But I also want to mention Janusz Kaminski. Probably butchered that. I think I always butcher that, but
I think you actually got that right. I think you
is
did.
it?
I think it's
Okay. Well, anyway, Kaminski is a fantastic cinematographer. He's worked with Spielberg on a number of films. I think one of his earlier ones was The Lost World Jurassic Park, which was a year prior to this. But just the way he shoots a film, the like, I think it's called the bleach effect, or it's just a bleached like look. Everything's washed out, and it is so appropriate here with this movie because it kind of like feels like you're in the 40s.
Yeah, well, this one was kind of the one. Like, what's funny is how much Saving Private Ryan originated so much that everybody took like the washed out filth, all like the negative, like that all came because of Saving Private Ryan.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
everybody was trying to emulate that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, without question. And honestly, I would argue that the color scheme works better here in Private Ryan than it did in The Lost World of Jurassic Park, where I just felt like it was taking itself way, way too seriously, where it just sucks out the fun.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
What Spielberg and them were trying to create was they were basically trying to create a look where it looked like it came off the cover of Time magazine, like the old ones where they would show the classic World War II photos. So they wanted to create a look like that, and so that's the reason why they did that, and that's why it's just an incredible looking film.
Oh, without question.
Absolutely beautiful. Also, Michael Kahn served as editor, who has been with Spielberg since I want to say the 70s or at least the 80s, and he has worked on almost like a good chunk of Spielberg's filmography. And this film is obviously a continuation of that fantastic work. this film has it has won so many Oscars. It's ridiculous.
Except for one that's very controversial.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. So yeah, well, the Shakespeare in Love that won
Mhm.
Best Picture this year, which I'm not a huge fan of that movie. I mean, it's good, but I don't think it's better than Saving Private Ryan. It's very
Yeah.
hard to kind of differentiate. Yeah.
I mean, I really love Shakespeare in Love,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna lie. I think Saving Private Ryan should have won over that.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I mean,
But
That's
it's
just
there's
my
a
personal opinion.
there's a history, like that was the start of the historical Weinstein Whining and Dining Academy voters to get them to flip to his movies, and that was probably the most successful campaign, because if it wasn't for him coming in and basically marketing Shakespeare in Love as that, Saving Private Ryan would have won. But like that's a whole rabbit hole to go
yeah.
down.
You know,
Yeah,
it also
definitely.
reminds me of 1994 when Forrest Gump beat out Pulp Fiction.
Uh,
But I mean, they're both fantastic films as
oh
well.
yeah, definitely.
So it's hard to just like differentiate the
Yeah.
two and kind of gauge popularity or what's better. You know, it's just ridiculous. They're all great
But
films.
the one
They
thing I want
are.
to comment on is we've talked about all, of course, like it's actually I realized it had been a while since I had rewatched it. I've seen it a number of times. Saw it in theaters when it first came out, and it's one of those things that, of course, it sticks with you, and it's hard not to. The most iconic thing, of course, being the first 20-minute, the opening, the D-Day landing sequence, one of the most just brutally filmed wars, like changed how war was portrayed on film, to
Right.
going from the John Wayne heroes of duty and patriotism to showing the blood, chaos, and absolute destruction that the soldiers of the war went through. And even the fact that Spielberg had no problem showing war crimes very nonchalantly, showing
Mhm.
soldiers killing, like surrendering German, like it's like that's a war crime, which of course pays very much into the movie. But what the thing that I had forgotten about was, beyond just those amazing sequences, how well written this script was.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's the thing was,
definitely.
like, yeah, like the character work that's being done, like especially during all of D-Day, the fact that we're establishing this entire squad in the midst of this chaos, and
Yeah.
that by the time it's even done, we know, from Tom Hanks's Captain Miller to Sizemore's Sergeant Horvat to even our amazing sniper Private Jackson, it's like we're getting them all set up as they're dealing with this, chaos of the landings,
Yeah.
and then just watching that great quiet character work as the movie continues, as each one of them struggles to ask, what's a life worth.
And you know
and
what?
and
Mhm.
that's what I forgot, of how good the writing is in this movie.
Right.
Oh yeah, and what really delivers the writing is 100% the acting. Because going back to this film, I thought
Mhm.
this film was going to be very preachy with its anti-war themes. Like
Mhm.
I felt like we are going to get one pretentious speech after another, and it does have its speech moments, but they feel
Mhm.
earned because the film's
Yeah.
not overcrowded with them. And on top of it all, Spielberg at one point had the actors just improvise their lines, offset, recorded them, and then incorporated what they said into the script.
Mhm.
So when you watch the actors together, it feels naturalistic. It doesn't feel like we're watching a Hollywood movie most of the time. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
feel like these are not characters. You feel like these are actual people that served in war. They do have their stereotypes, but they feel more down to earth. They feel
Right.
grounded. And that's what I really love about it.
Well, I
And
think that, yeah, I think that Spielberg is very much trying to capture the notion of the working man fighting. The fact that these were, school teachers, that these
right,
were just average people that were asked to do extraordinary things,
Yeah.
and how little he even passes judgment in the horrible things that they have to do, because at the end of the day, everybody, from the Germans to the Americans, they weren't, it is a patriotic movie in the sense that it is highlighting the
Yeah.
American soldier, but it's
mhm,
highlighting them in a way of, they're just trying to get home. That's all everybody's trying to do. And no matter
exactly.
what it takes, that's what they're going to do. And to be fair, anybody in that situation, that's what you're probably going to
Yeah.
do. Even if
Mhm.
it means being a coward and not going up the stairs to fight
Mhm.
a German soldier to rescue a friend, or ordering, doing all kinds of terrible things. So it's like, it's an incredibly realistic movie in terms of people rising and not rising to the occasion.
These aren't
Exactly.
these aren't superheroes. They're not
Yeah.
action stars. These are just regular Joes. They're
Yep.
just they have orders. They go out there and no matter what, they're going to get the job done. And I want to also highlight the fact that this script was rewritten a few times.
Mhm.
And it was basically, it started out great, it got even better, and it was
Mhm.
kind of distilled into what we see here in the final film. And I honestly I rewatched it the other night, and I became invested in each and every one of these soldiers. Like, a few of them die throughout the movie. I don't know. Do you think it's a spoiler if I mention?
I think we can. I think at 25 years we can
Yes,
talk
yes.
about the,
Yeah, you can
because it's
get
such
away
a
with it, but
powerful
hey,
ending too.
at least
Like
people have been
it's
warned that we're going into spoiler territory, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. But Vin Diesel, that was heartbreaking. Giovanni Ribisi, like, and of course, Eric, you touched on Adam Goldberg's scene. Just
That is always for me.
oh,
That's the like one of the most like brutal as a war, that because that one's personal. Like that
yeah,
death scene is,
because
even that one watching again is hard to
he's not even
watch.
screaming or yelling for help. He's just
Mhm.
slowly getting murdered,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's really
It's a hero losing the knife fight.
yeah, it was just really horrific to rewatch. It
Yeah.
just gets worse and worse. But I want to go back to the Battle of Normandy. That film, actually, the film itself, I think the total was about 50 or 60 million in budget. But that one scene, I think, cost 12 million because of all the extras. I think there were 1,500 extras,
Mhm.
and obviously a very expansive, location, a lot going on, lots of soldiers getting massacred. And what a way to open the film. I mean, it's literally explosive. It brings you right into the war. And there are a few other battle sequences throughout the film that are also fantastic, but the Battle of
Mhm.
Normandy will be forever, it'll always stay with me. It
If I
is that,
had to,
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry. If I had
No.
to pick one scene that embodies the chaos of war, the needless, countless deaths, it's the Battle of Normandy sequence from this movie. Because you never know when someone's going to die. Once it starts, it hits you like a ton of bricks. And it never slows down until the
Mhm.
ending. It just keeps going and going with one death, one surprise after another. You feel like you're part of the troop. You're not sure what to do. You're not sure where to go. You're not sure how they're going to do it. And
Yeah.
everywhere you turn, somebody's dying. There are
Mhm.
bombs going off. It is just a horrific scene that
Yeah.
is fantastically filmed in every sense of the word. Even if
Can
the
you
even if
believe that
someone,
Spielberg didn't storyboard this? That he just
Wow. Oh, really?
wow,
He just
that
yeah,
went.
because he was too afraid that he wanted the camera to be in on the action. So he was afraid that by storyboarding it he would lose out on the whole being there with the troops during the whole all those sequences.
It's insane.
Mhm.
I
And
love
part
it.
of what and part of what makes that scene so effective is the handheld camera because you
Hmm.
really feel like you're in the situation.
Yeah.
I just love how it shakes. I love how some of the blood gets on the camera. It's
Right.
just a really intense sequence
And
that still
also,
stands out to this day.
And
Yes.
also, so Industrial Light and Magic, who's done the computer generated imagery for most of Spielberg's films, most notably Jurassic Park, they contributed some work here, and it's very subtle, but there are some bullet holes, some shots, there's some explosions, there's a scene, a very wide shot where we see the entire beach, and there's like you see ships in the background, you see like these balloons or blimps or whatever in the
Hmm.
sky.
Hmm.
I also want to credit, ILM for that wonderful work as well, for not, beating us over the head with the special effects, but kind of making it subtle, and it elevates the story a little bit.
Well, a
It does.
reminder of the actual Operation Overlord, the actual invasion, the D-Day. As brutal as that part is, that was a small itty bitty little chunk of the entire operation spread over miles,
Yeah,
5 different beaches, and miles. So it's like that's just that little section of beach that they were on. The chaos was happening for miles and miles
yeah.
across that entire beach.
That's insane to
Yeah,
fathom that.
yeah,
Just
exactly.
crazy. Oh, so yeah, 25 years, and I this is a movie that you can't really watch every couple of weeks or months. You got like
Or
it
years
took
for that matter.
it took me like a good decade to revisit it, and I'm really glad I did. I'm probably gonna see it in another 10 years. We'll see. But
Well, that's why I was glad to revisit because again, the writing, there's a lot of little things that I didn't pick up on until like this version. Like
right.
especially a lot of little things that made the moment when John Miller, Tom Hanks's character, gives his big speech about his being the school teacher, being the school teacher, and how he can't, nobody recognizes that in him anymore because of what the war's done to him, and about him trying to do the one good thing so that he can go back to being that husband and that school teacher again. And
Just
how there's a lot of actually little subtle conversations between him and Upham and different ones that actually where you see people missing out on what Tom Hanks is supposed to be till he gives that speech and actually makes that land a lot harder this time than it ever did.
I get you. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, and I
Oh
love
yeah.
the whole subplot of the pool trying to figure out what he does for a living back at home,
Mhm.
and that was really clever.
Yeah, or the little subtlety of the of all of them carrying Vin Diesel's letter, of each person of that letter making its way to the even to the end, to the point where even Ed Burns gets the letter, and that you're watching that letter make its way through all the soldiers.
Yeah, it's fantastic. This movie, again, it gets better and better. Also, a fantastic, very understated score by
Mhm.
Maestro John Williams, and he delivers one of his best themes, maybe his best militaristic theme. Very solemn. I think the actual name of it is "Hymn to the Fallen,"
I think,
and
yep, that's right.
it is quite beautiful. And Tyler, I don't know if you know, but I am a huge score aficionado. I love film music, and yeah, Williams definitely knocked it out of the park here.
He
Um,
did. He
yeah,
really did. It's one of his most underrated works after hearing it again.
indeed, indeed. So guys, we just have a few minutes left, and I just wanted to just touch on some other Spielberg films, most notably his dramatic work. Aside from Private Ryan, what other dramatic Spielberg films come to mind when you think of his work? Tyler.
Schindler's List.
Yeah, of course, of
Yeah.
course. For
Like
which
I
he
would
won
say,
Best Picture, Best Director, Best Picture of 1993.
oh yeah,
Ultimate, the companion piece to, even though it wasn't really, it was him and Hanks producing the great companion piece to Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers,
Right.
which is a
yeah.
fantastic series.
Right, and I'm glad you mentioned that because it is I think all seasons are streaming now on Max. So
Mhm.
Ooh,
if anyone wants to, continue with the World War II lesson,
Yeah.
Band of Brothers definitely continues the story in a beautiful way.
Yeah, if you want to read about the very crazy true story about the 101st Airborne Easy Company, which Private Ryan is a part of, and that he is a part of the 101st that airborne that airdropped in prior to the landing, and so you get a good look at the paratroopers during World War II
That's it.
and
In
how
case,
they were in the front line of everything.
in case you didn't have enough World War II action,
Mhm.
horror, right? But
Yeah, yeah, because like I said, they were there for the D-Day, they were there for Market Garden, they were there for Battle of the Bulge. Like they were on the front line on all the worst things for World War II in the European operation.
and also I haven't really seen it, but the Pacific, does that
Mhm.
also kind of in the same
That
vein?
that's also part of this Hanks Spielberg World War II universe.
Gotcha, gotcha. I'd say for me, one of the most intense dramatic works of Spielberg is the Color Purple, which
that's a great
really
one.
I watched it once. It was my first and last time. I mean, I'm probably gonna see it again in the future, but that
Well,
movie is difficult to watch.
Well, I
the
think you might
musical
want to see it
adaptation,
again
Yeah,
because they're going to do a
they're
remake of it
remaking.
very
Yeah, they're
soon.
remaking it.
because
Yeah.
it's the adaptation of the musical, which Rachel and I got to see on Broadway, and it's
Ooh,
incredible. And
Wow.
so I'm looking forward to what you mentioned, the because that's what's coming out this Christmas is the musical adaptation.
Okay.
ah.
Good to know. Good to know.
It's funny
Um,
because the trailer I saw didn't really advertise it as a musical. It advertised
Hmm.
itself as a drama. But
right.
again, trailers can be false. I mean, that's
Right,
happened all
right.
the
I thought
time.
it
But
was.
it's an amazing musical. The musical,
Oh yeah.
like even in the to give you a hint of how good the music is, the lead actress who played I cannot remember who played the main woman, Cynthia Erivo in the musical. That was the year Hamilton came out and took every Tony
Oh.
except for Best Actress, which she won over Hamilton.
Was
That's
she
how good it was.
Wow.
was she supposed to be Whoopi Goldberg's character?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely
It's incredible music, so I'm looking forward
yeah.
to this. And I know Rachel is really looking forward to this adaptation.
Good to know. Maybe we'll review it in a future episode.
I would
But
love
yeah, and
to
another
review it
for his
myself
dramatic
with you
work,
guys,
I
of
think.
course.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I would love to join you guys for the review if possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
definitely be
But
Not to invite myself or anything like
no, no,
that.
that's cool. That's cool.
I,
That's fine.
I think one of the most underrated dramatic works that Spielberg put out was Munich.
I mean, it's fantastic. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I've been
And
meaning to see that.
I think I've mentioned in previous episode that Spielberg, he sometimes he does like two movies in one year, and one of those movies would be like a fun adventure type movie, and then the other would be like this really heavy drama.
Mhm.
Obviously, the case in point is Jurassic Park and Schindler's List. Then he did I would say Lost World and then Amistad.
Mm.
And then it's not really a fun movie, but it's more fun than Munich, but War of the Worlds and Munich in 2005. So there's and also Minority Report and Catch Me If You Can, but those are both fun movies. So it depends. He
Mhm.
has this he's a fantastic filmmaker.
Oh yeah, he's
True.
perfect at both genres, whether
Right,
it's
right.
drama or sci-fi, adventure or horror. He's
Yeah.
just amazing.
And a
One of
couple
my
more.
favorites for a special reason.
Yeah, for sure. Likewise. And also I want to rattle off a few names here. I rewatched Lincoln right before this broadcast, and that was fantastic. You've got Daniel Day-Lewis as Abraham Lincoln. He knocked it out of the park. I'm not sure if he won the Oscar for Best Actor, but he's won 3 Oscars and he's retired now. So he's
Yeah.
left for sure. We've got so Lincoln, Bridge of Spies was very good. Oh, Empire of the Sun, fantastic. I actually saw that for the first time, I think last year. Love it. War Horse was pretty good. And got the Post. And
Post was excellent.
yeah, again, he works extremely well with Hanks. And yeah, rounding out things, I would say Always from 1989. Which is a kind of a quiet film, kind of, again, understated. And he did that the same year as Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So there you go again, the fun and the mayhem.
And the fact that 2 of his best movies have been just recently with his brilliant remake of West Side Story and The Fablemans, which is just amazing. It's like the fact that he's still putting out his best work.
I know, man. He nothing is slowing this man down,
No.
And I've mentioned on the show before, but I'm trying to coin the phrase "spiel nerd," and I think tonight we're all spiel nerds. So I am proud of that. So guys, we are just about out of time, but Eric, I know you usually don't have plugs. Actually, you never have plugs.
No,
Except
nothing to talk about.
or maybe anything on Rachel's end.
Oh well, Rachel's with the Law of Donut Engineering, New Jersey City. Always, if you're looking for good donuts, best place to check out.
Perfect. And Tyler, Michael, sir, any plugs for you? Anything you want to mention?
Well, I do write on a blog called Tyler the Movie Maniac. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook, preferably Instagram. And I haven't been posting a lot lately because I've been busy with college and other works, but I am working on a big list, which I'm going to announce right now. I'm going into new territory. Instead of reviewing a movie, I am reviewing a video game series, and that is the 007 video games, because those are my introduction to the 007 films, well, the franchise in general. So I thought while doing a ranking, I thought I might as well review them. It's new territory. I never did video games before, at least never reviewed them to a playable degree. And I figured since it connects to my love for the franchise, why not?
Oh
So
man,
amazing.
that is a wow. These are great games. Wow, these are really bad games.
honestly, I've enjoyed them all, but there are ones that are better than others. I will.
Everything or nothing.
Oh
I love
yeah,
everything or
hands up.
nothing. That's a perfect
Yeah,
third person.
that is totally up there. That's
Yes.
what I'm working on right now. And spoiler, it is the third entry on my list.
I loved Everything or Nothing. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite Bond
I
games.
love the weapon selection. The handheld rocket launcher was my favorite. But literally, like just a few weeks ago, Tyler, my friend Kevin, he bought me the adapter and the cables for the N64, which was
Oh man.
compatible to my TV. And we had a few proximity mine battles multiplayer, and that game holds up since
No
like
It
Joe.
does.
it is
It
amazing.
does.
Love it. So yeah, if you would like another guest on your show for that, Tyler, hey, I'm open. I am open to that. We'll talk more.
Of course, of course. Again, it's not a show, it's written material, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay, but who knows? Maybe I might do a show one of these days.
Hey, why not? I'm open to that. That's cool. Also, guys, I can't I did not want to end the Saving Private Ryan discussion too prematurely, but there was a really quick moment. I think it's the last battle scene where they're waiting for the German troops to arrive, the enemy, and there you hear a distant sound of one of the tanks coming, and immediately I thought of another Spielberg film. I thought of Jaws, kind of like that impending doom. And I don't know. I should have mentioned earlier, but I'm glad I got it out.
And the T-Rex from Jurassic Park with the water, the rumble, yeah.
Perfect.
That
So
is
yeah,
true.
Spielberg is a master of suspense. He's a master of adventure and drama. And I want to thank you guys for tonight. This was a wonderful show. And any chance I get to talk Spielberg, I'm down for that. So thank you guys.
Same. Especially being able to revisit something that's amazing at where we're at.
Sure, for sure.
I mean, one of Spielberg's films is one of my third favorite films of all time, and that is Jaws. So
Nice. Yeah, I think my third favorite film after Ghostbusters and Back to the Future. Well, Back to the Future is Spielberg, but directed by him, Jurassic Park. That's number 3.
Right.
oh yeah, definitely on my
Also,
top 5.
yes, yes, yes. So, guys, also those listening and watching right now, you can check out new episodes of Under the Radar on Manhattan Neighborhood Network every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Also, feel free to subscribe to the Under the Radar YouTube channel. Subscribe and share. Spread the love, basically. But yeah, Eric, Tyler, I want to thank you so much for your time tonight. This was a great show, and I'll see you guys soon. I'm Randy Unger. This has been Under the Radar. We'll see you next time, guys.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Younger, and this is a very special edition of Under the Radar, where we talk all things film. And with me right now, fresh off the Tribeca Festival, Mr. Julio Berthely of the short film Spinning. He is the producer, and I want to welcome him to the show. Julio, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
How was your festival?
Was great. Was my first time on Tribeca, and was totally, I don't know, a huge festival, excellent people, excellent movies. was a great experience, that festival.
Very nice, very nice. And where are you from originally?
I'm from Mexico City.
Mexico City. Okay. What was it like being in the United States with your film?
Well, what was maybe the eighth or ninth time on an American festival. The first time on Tribeca, and I think always it's a great experience to be there. Obviously, with a movie, in this case, a short film, but the experience is one of the best in this industry.
It's good, good. And tell everyone, how did spinning originally come about? How did the story come about? How did this lovely film come together?
Well, the first idea was from Isa's sister. Isa is one of the directors. When she was in her department doing this spinning with the bicycle and all that stuff, then she lost one of the, I don't know how to say this, weight.
The weight.
Yeah. And she freaked out because she was on a third floor. And then as well, so that was the first idea for this short film. And then Mandy and Isabel write the script. When I saw the script for the first time, I remember I was in shock, because I think it's a very, very, very good idea and very good story. So I spoke with them, and I'm very grateful to them to make me part of this story and the crew and the team.
That's great. That's beautiful. Beautiful. The cast is great. Obviously it's a short film. It's a small cast. I'm curious, what was the casting process like? How did you pick the actors, or how were the actors selected?
At the first time, they did a casting process, and the first two actresses they had a lot of problems with the dates, and well, we lost that actresses, and then I spoke with two friends, the two actresses. One of them are from Italy. The other one is Mexican. And when they read the script, say yes immediately. It was like, wow, well, yeah, sure. So that's the story of the cast.
And they were so perfect. They were so believable. Like it felt like what was happening on screen was actually happening, like for real. And the actors, they definitely sold it. They definitely they did a very terrific job. So
thank you.
Yeah. What were some challenges you faced on the set?
Maybe the time, because we had 2 days, but and the script was, I don't remember, but maybe 13 or 14 pages. So that means 7 pages per day. And the light, and because the whole short was with daylight, so we was like running to trying to win the light. And well, the locations, maybe the location was more or less difficult, but well, the truth is was a great experience filming the problem was a little, very little.
Mm. And the location, this was someone's house, right? That you just kind of borrowed, basically.
Yeah, we had two departments. The first one in the first floor, and the other one was upstairs, but like 10 floors. So we have to cheat, the balcony and the garden. But no, the problem was nothing really.
Okay, so it was a relatively easy shoot.
Yeah.
That's good. And I'm just curious, how important is collaboration to you on a set? Working with a good crew, with a good cast, how important is just working with good people? Is that important to you?
No, of course, it's very, very important. I mean, someone if are not comfortable, or maybe in a bad day, in a bad mood, only one person can destroy the process and destroy the shooting.
Yeah.
So if the team are happy and the team are really, how do you say, with the team shirt,
Okay.
it's very important. So yeah, the team is everything, the crew is everything.
Yeah, it's definitely a team effort for sure.
Yeah, sure.
So what do you hope audiences take away from this film? What do you want them to what do you want to last in their memory once they see Spinning?
Maybe to make a reflection about the social differences and how these differences maybe can affect the society. Of course, this is a comedy, no? But also have this message, of the difference of classes and all this thing in Mexico is a huge problem.
Okay.
All the desiguality. No, I don't know if that the word.
What was it? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was saying in Mexico we have this problem of I don't know, how do you say desigualdad in English? Is like it's a huge hole between the rich and the poor people. So this story, it's some kind of protest.
Okay.
So I think the reflection about these problems, it's what I want the people have. I don't know. Maybe.
No. The class struggle is real here. You can definitely tell from all the characters. They all come from different backgrounds. They all have different agendas, and it's really great how they all just collide. And it's just it does not end well. Without giving too much away, the things do not end well in this film.
Definitely don't end well. Yeah.
I even got a Coen Brothers vibe. Like, were the Coen Brothers inspiration for this film? Who were some directors, some different styles that inspired this film?
Well, I'm going to talk. I mean, Mandy and Isabel can answer better this question, but I know maybe one of these references, maybe the Coen brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely the director of Parasites.
Okay.
I
Yes.
mean, Parasites. It's a big reference for this short film.
Okay. Nice. And so you were only producer on this film, correct?
Yeah. I am a director and a writer as well, but in this short, I'm just the producer.
Okay. And I'm just curious, so yeah, producer, writer, director, do you prefer to wear one hat more than the others, or are they all kind of the same for you?
No, it's the same. No, it's the same. The
Okay.
truth is the same.
Nice. So a true artist for sure.
I mean, I'm happy doing films. I don't care if in this time I'm the producer or the writer or whatever.
Mhm.
I like to make movies.
Nice. And are there any directors that have influenced your work?
Yeah, I can tell you Lars von Trier, my work as a director, Lars von Trier, Michael or Mikhail Haneke. I don't know. It's a very dark way, but even the story director, when the refing, I don't know, a lot of directors.
Okay, I like that. No, that's a good answer because you can pick, from different directors, and that can inform your own style, your own voice.
Yeah.
That's good. Are there any other projects you're working on now that you can discuss?
Yeah, I'm going to film a new movie next year. And with Isa and Mendy, we are working in another project, maybe for this year, I hope. And that's it.
Okay. And how can people see Spinning? I know it just premiered at the Tribeca Festival, but how can people see it now since the festival is over?
Well, we have to wait a few months to try to screen in another festivals, and then maybe we can send you a link so your audience can watch the film.
That would be great. That would be amazing. The film, yeah, I saw it the other night, and it's sticking with me. It's still very strong in my mind. I'm still digesting it. Even though it was a short film, it had a lot to say. So, Julio, I want to thank you so much for your time. This is really cool. So,
Thank you. Thank
so
you, Randy.
guys, I'm Randy Unger. This has been Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. I want to thank Julio Berthely. This was lovely. The film is Spinning. When it does get released, do check it out. It is very, very good. Take care, guys. Hey guys, Randy Young here at the 2022 Tribeca Festival, here at the premiere of Next Exit, and I'm about to talk to some of the talent, including a certain Mr. Daniel Robert Elfman, otherwise known as Danny Elfman, who composed the film's themes and some of the music. Here we go.
Hi.
So what attracted you to this role?
Molly Elfman and her vision. She approached me to play the lead character, Rose. I was really intimidated to do it because of the material, and when we meet Rose, she's in a really complicated place in her life. Somebody exciting.
Someone's excited.
I love it. Yeah.
Love it.
But yeah, so initially I was really nervous to play the character, but Molly, her vision had me sold, and just her as a human being. She's just one of the most collaborative, kind, chilled people.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the film yet. I'm going to see it tonight.
Cool.
And I'm really interested because it's a very dark topic of death.
So going into it, were you a little bit apprehensive, or did you welcome the challenge?
Well, I think when you see the film, you'll be pleasantly surprised that it goes in a different direction. There are other themes to be explored. For me, the film is about, yes, death, but also rebirth, and how we cycle through that on our time and on this planet.
Yeah.
There's some really cool metaphors given the last few years we've all had with COVID.
Right.
COVID is not explored in this movie, but there's a theme that maybe people can relate to from their experience.
Gotcha. And we all need that right now, for sure.
I think so. Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me, what was it like working on this film?
Unique. It was during the beginning of COVID. I drove across country by myself to meet up with the crew, to pod with everybody.
That's dedication.
Yes, it is. And I'm so lucky to have been able to be part of this, and I had the best time. It was very unique.
Awesome. What do you hope audiences take away from the film?
A new perspective.
Hi. Nice to meet you. We actually met at the Museum of Modern Art a number of years ago for the Tim Burton exhibit.
Oh, right.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you.
So what attracted you to this project?
My daughter's the writer-director.
That's enough, right?
Yeah, it's a very proud moment for me.
And how did you approach the film musically? I'm curious.
I mean, I just I don't know, she wanted some kind of quirky themes, some music that played a couple of scenes, because I couldn't score the whole film because I was in the middle of another thing at that time. And so I did, and I gave her, I said, use these if you like, or don't use them if you don't like. And she's like, no, I like them. So I said, okay, well, my gift.
And what was it like working with the composer? Ariel, is it?
I mean, she took what I did and then went off and did her own thing. We didn't really interface. No, I just wrote some stuff, and then I said, you can use it if you like, or don't use it if you don't like. And, I'm just trying to be a helpful papa here.
Of course. Whenever you provide a theme, it's always a great help to the movie, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to thank you for all your decades of great work. You are a true artist, and I respect you. You are my favorite composer, I'll be honest.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Also, a side note, I remember the Nissan ads you composed in 1996.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. I mean, it got me there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were fantastic. They were a wonderful mix of Edward Scissorhands and even a little flubber. So.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Randy Unger, Under the Radar. How are you?
Hi. It's so nice to meet you.
You too.
Traffic in the background is perfectly
lovely,
New York.
Right? There we are.
Yeah.
So congratulations on the film. I have not seen it yet. I'm going to see it tonight.
Okay, good.
Very excited. It looks awesome from what I've seen so far, from what I've heard from everybody on this carpet. How did the project come about?
It came about, I was writing it over about 10 years, and then when COVID hit, it just became so relevant to me that one thing changes and our entire world has an effect, and the ripple effect that goes out. And so I didn't want to make a COVID film, but it just felt so relevant and timely, and I wanted to talk about the effect that it can have on people. And I also wanted to find a way to give some hope.
Okay. And we all need that right now, for sure.
And ghosts. We all need a little hope and a little ghost.
And a little music from your dad doesn't help.
I loved it. Yeah, he was fantastic. No, it doesn't hurt at all.
Right.
It was really wonderful. He's talented, that guy.
Oh my God. What was it like growing up in that house?
I didn't have anything to compare it by, so honestly, it felt very normal to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you pretty much heard the beginnings of certain themes. Were you there when he composed The Simpsons?
I mean, I was probably outside playing in the dirt, eating it, but I did hear it around me at all times, and I am aware of it. But and I love being on a scoring stage. It's one of my favorite places to be.
Nice. What was the most magical moment working with your dad?
He just is very intuitive to what a film needs. I think there's ideas of what you think it should have, and then there's the reality, and he's very good at honing in and finding that.
For sure. I love it. All right. I look forward to seeing the film tonight.
So
Thank you so much, Molly.
Thank you so much.
And guys, if you want to see previous episodes of Under the Radar, just visit the YouTube channel, Under the Radar. That's Unger with a G. Please subscribe and share. You can also check out new episodes of Under the Radar on Manhattan Neighborhood Network on the Lifestyle channel every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And you can also check out more coverage of the Tribeca Festival this year only on the YouTube channel.